Welcome. My name is Dan Anderson. I'm a mental health clinician and I consult with organizations regarding stress, resilience, and wellness. Normally, I present this material live in person, but since I'm not able to do that today, I've included my contact info and I invite anyone to call or email with any questions that might come up. This is the first in a series of videos. I call this Stress 101A, and it describes the basic mechanisms and biology of stress. In future video segments, I'll discuss specific sources of stress, some of which are unique to certain high-stress occupations. And I'll also cover techniques for stress mitigation, building resilience, and staying healthy. We will cover the stress response and the relaxation response. I'll talk about basic stress biology in healthy individuals and what happens in the case of chronic unhealthy stress. And we'll go over some definitions and review. The stress response is the body's natural reaction to a stressor. The trigger can be either physical or psychological. There are specific changes that occur in the body when the stress response is triggered. A normal, healthy stress response is temporary and short-lived. The relaxation response follows the stress response and brings the body back into balance after a stressful event. The graphic illustrates the general idea of the stress response, reacting to a stressor, reaching a peak, and then the relaxation response kicking in afterwards to bring the body back to baseline. While we're looking at this, I want to add a little clarification. Instead of thinking of the stress response and the relaxation response as two systems that are either turned on or off, like light switches, it's helpful to think of them as two systems that each have their own knob that can be turned up or turned down. So up or down instead of on or off. This slide suggests what the graphic would look like if the relaxation response were delayed or not functional, and the stress response were to continue to be activated over time. The next graphic indicates a situation where the stress response is triggered frequently and shows the idea that the individual does not recover to baseline. As the stress response continues to be activated and the relaxation response becomes overwhelmed or ineffective, the baseline actually changes such that a new normal is created for the individual. In terms of their biology, they never fully relax. Previously, we looked at a list of the healthy reactions of the body to the normal stress response. Now we'll look at a list of some of the most common results of long-term chronic stress, or too much stress too much of the time. When the body is reacting to the occasional short-term stressor, it prepares you for action and protects you. When the body is subjected to too much stress, too much of the time, it weakens you and makes you susceptible to illness. Now a review of a few definitions. The stress response is a natural reaction to a stressor which travels throughout the body, triggering specific biological changes. The relaxation response, another natural biological process that can be triggered automatically by the central nervous system, usually after a threat or stressor is removed. The biological reactions that are triggered by the stress response are reversed by the relaxation response. Recovery is effectively dealing with stress after the fact. Resilience can be defined as our combined capacities to tolerate a stressor and to recover afterwards. Resilience can be improved by practicing the relaxation response. And the relaxation response can also be triggered intentionally, either physically and/or psychologically. A couple of examples of physical triggers of the relaxation response are controlled breathing techniques and movement or exercise. A couple examples of psychological triggers of the relaxation response are meditation and mindfulness techniques, which we will discuss in a future segment. I end on this slide with the two brains and the brainstorming of ideas to let you know that while the first couple of videos are focused on defining some problems with stress, later segments will get into ideas about what we can do to stay healthy. And as I mentioned at the beginning, if anyone has any questions after reviewing this material, they're welcome to call or email me directly, and I'd be glad to discuss your questions. Thanks, and have a good day.